What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday over here. Hope you guys are doing well. Bitcoin currently is at about 28.6K, looking pretty good still after we have broken on top of the daily 200 SMA. So things are looking a lot better for the altcoin markets, at least in the short term. The next signal we're going to be looking for is the weekly 200 SMA. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that in the charts and see how likely that would be happening. If that does happen, then it's going to look even more bullish for the entire crypto markets and, of course, these altcoins as well. So very important signal to be looking for and see if Bitcoin is able to close on top of that later this week. Now, the main altcoins we are going to be talking about in this post is going to be, I forgot, I'm so sorry. It's going to be Jasmy, Avax, and Gala. So Jasmy coin, Avalanche token, and Gala token, and see what has gone on in these markets since the last time I've talked about it. We're going to see some upside and downside price targets for these coins, taking a look at their setups currently and seeing how likely they are to actually go either direction, really, okay? I'm going to be giving you guys my personal opinions and what I'm personally doing in this crypto markets later in this video, so make sure to be staying around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal opinions and speculations. I could very well be wrong. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I an elite trader of any sort, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear market. And I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, if you guys are feeling pumped on this Thursday morning, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look into the Bitcoin chart first, okay? So Bitcoin chart here, very important on the daily time frame. We have been struggling to get back on top of the daily 200 SMA. Finally got back on top of it with this very commanding candle close here as of Monday, okay? Now it has been able to stay on top of this major moving average here, okay? That's at about 28K, okay? The next thing I'm really looking for, which would be a signal that could be coming up next, okay? It closes in about 3 days, the weekly candle. If we are actually able to get back on top of this weekly 200 SMA, currently at about 28.2, 28.3K-ish, that is going to be the next major bullish signal here for Bitcoin and the crypto markets here, okay? And then the next thing I'll be looking for would be actually breaking out of this developing rising channel pattern. I'm saying developing because we don't have three candle touches here on this upward trend line yet. And I don't think on any of the smaller time frames as well. So I'm saying that this is a developing rising channel pattern, which is usually a bearish pattern. It has the probabilities, more of a probability of breaking to the downside here. Okay, so definitely want to see a weekly candle close above the weekly 200, and then getting out of this bearish pattern here. Otherwise, there is still a good chance that you will break down here, according to technical analysis. Okay, we're not going to talk about this breakdown because this is not a validated pattern yet. So this is really what I'm looking for here on Bitcoin. Now let's go ahead and take a look into Jasmy first. Excuse me. So Jasmy here, I've talked about it last time on the weekly time frame here. A developing falling wedge pattern, okay? Because we don't have that third candlestick to the bottom trend line here yet, okay? So if, I'm just saying if this is a very hypothetical situation, okay? Because this is not a completed falling wedge pattern. If it completes it and it breaks out, the measure move here is going to be about I'm just going to say, well, it's above 0.48 cents area, okay? 0.48 cents area here. So that's a good, from where it is here, that's about a 60% pump here, okay? Now, measure moves are estimates only, okay? It really depends on the type of market that we are in. So, if it is in a bull market, I've seen these measure moves get surpassed, pretty quickly, okay? However, we're still in a pretty iffy market right now. I have done quite a bit of technical analysis recently on these altcoins that have broken out of their falling wedges mainly, and have broken out and does not come anywhere near their measure targets, and sometimes even goes down for a little while before anything does happen. Okay, so definitely take this with a grain of salt here, the measure targets. Of course, we're still waiting for this falling wedge to complete, okay? So this is just my current sketch right now. Let's take a look into what could be happening here on the smaller time frame and see if we can get any clues on if this falling wedge is going to be happening, or will it actually form something else, right? So on this daily time frame here, I mentioned last time there was a smaller falling wedge. Measure move was about 0.33 cent area. Jasmy did break out and went up to as far as about 0.324 cents, okay, before getting a rejection. Currently, it has a double bottom scenario, even though it's slightly lower bottom here, but we do have bullish divergence here on the daily time frame. So let's see if this does play out, okay? In my opinion, this breakout is still very valid. So, I mean, this price action could come back to, take another attempt to meeting this measure move here. Also going to be taking a look into a measure move out of this double bottom here. If this price action is actually could break out of this double bottom here, neckline about 0.325 cents area, I'm just going to say for even though I'm going to say 0.325 cents area, okay, just for even sake, okay? So this is the scenario that's more in play right now. If this price action is able to break out of this double bottom pattern here, neckline 0.325 cents area, measure move would be about 0.35 cents area, okay? So that would take you to the upper trend line of this developing falling wedge pattern, okay? Now, falling wedges usually break to the upside, but of course, it still has the possibility of breaking down as well. So these trading concepts, do go ahead and Google search them, ChatGPT them, right? And verify what I'm saying, because this is free public knowledge. If anything is to be taken away from these videos, right, it is the education, right? These concepts, go ahead and verify. Chart these on your own. Don't just take a random measure target from some random dude on YouTube. So, just go ahead and chart these on your own and verify them, right? Now, let's go ahead and take a look into some key price levels to be paying attention to. I'm just going to mention some key noticeable ones, okay? You guys can find the rest of them on your own, but some key noticeable ones. Let's come down to daily time frame here. Daily 21 SMA, 0.32, I'm just going to say 0.325 cents area, okay? Pretty in line with that neckline of that double bottom pattern. Daily 50 SMA, 0.345 cents area. The daily 200 is way out there for me to even consider, okay? You guys can repeat the same exercise for the 3-day, weekly, monthly. Those are the bigger time frames I consider, or whatever time frames you guys are interested in. Taking a look at their moving averages that are going to be your key supports or resistances, depending on if they're above or below your price action. You guys can also take a look into past trading history based on candles, right, for the same key supports and resistances as well. So in addition to moving averages, you guys can also take a look into previous trading histories based on whatever time frames you guys are interested in. I mainly take a look into the daily to the monthly, okay? Now let's go ahead and go to Avax. Okay, Avax here. I believe it was on the weekly time frame as well that we have left off last time. Okay, weekly time frames, falling wedge, very similar theme with quite a bit of these altcoins here. Okay, let's take a look into the measure move here. Okay, still valid measure move, 21.50 area. Okay, if it breaks out by the week of November 13th, of course, if it breaks out later, then you move the measurements, which is the opening of the pattern, and then you're putting on top of the upper trend line. If it doesn't break out by this date, then you move it along the bottom trend line and you will get a lower measure target. If it breaks out sooner, then you adjust it based on the actual breakout, and that will give you a higher measure target, right? Now, let's take a look into the daily time frame here. See what could be happening and see if we can get any clues on if this is going to be breaking out, or based on if this is going to be a bullish or a bearish pattern here on the lower time frame. So on this 3-day time frame, going to come over to the 3-day time frame here. I see a double bottom scenario that could be playing out as well, right? Let's take a measure move out of this double bottom scenario. So if this double bottom scenario actually plays out, which usually plays out in favor of the bulls, right? It's going to give you about a measure move of $15 area. Neckline is going to be about, I'm just going to say $12 area, okay, for the neckline. So that is another sub pattern that could be playing out here. We have a bullish pattern within a bigger bullish pattern. Let's see if they actually break out according to the probabilities that are in favor of the bulls. Let's take a look into some key resistances. Okay, key resistance right here, $9.50, which is the 3-day 21 SMA. Okay, 3-day 50 SMA is going to be $11.50 area. Okay, you guys can identify other key supports and resistances the same way on the other time frames as well. Okay, so for time's sake, we're going to move on. You guys have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. Gala here. Let's see what has gone on in this market. Coming to the weekly time frame here, or even the 3-day time frame where I can actually validate this falling channel pattern. Okay, so very similar theme. Again, this is a validated falling channel pattern, which usually breaks to the upside again. Okay, measure move here. I had it at the 3-day candle of November 6th. Okay, if it breaks out by then, measure move about 5.2. I'm just gonna say 5.25 cents area. Okay, let's do a quick recap of what happened last time. So since last time, AVAX has broken out of the smaller falling wedge inside the bigger falling wedge. It has not quite, come up for it has not quite met its measure move here, right? A measure move was about 2 cents area. Price action here did come up to as far as about 1.65 cents area before getting a pretty hard rejection, and now it's basically at a price action that's lower than from within the pattern here. So that's not looking good at the moment. And it looks like it has actually invalidated what it looked like to be a double bottom pattern here. So this double bottom actually broke down. So that is looking pretty bearish at the moment. Let's take a look into what could be happening here instead. this looks more like a descending triangle or a descending triangle pattern that has actually broken down, right? All right, there you go. This looks like a descending triangle pattern that has actually broken down, okay? So that's usually a bearish pattern. Give me 1 second, just so I can adjust these trend lines here. That's a very bearish pattern, a descending triangle. Let's take a measure move from this descending triangle, which is the opening of the pattern, and then putting the measurements below the support there, which is about, I'm just gonna say, I mean, it's gonna be pretty hard to see, right? About 1.3 cents area. So you're gonna get a measure move of about 0.94 cents area, okay? So let's see if price action here does actually go down there to meet the measure move, which is going to be still a pretty steep way down, okay? That's going to be about, a good 0.3 cents. I'm not sure what the percentage of that right now is. Can't really do math, but that's pretty steep. So let's see if actually is bearish enough to go down there and meet this measure move. So that's basically what I'm seeing for Gala. It does look like Gala is going to be taking a breakdown here, right? So let's take a look into some key supports that Gala has beneath this price action. It's going to get pretty hard to see because it does look like it's basically breaching its all-time lows already, right? So, I mean, I don't really have, so there is not really other previous trading history here because it's already breaching all-time lows here from what it looks like. So, I mean, you probably get some bounces at even numbers, maybe 1.1 cents, 1 cent. I'm just guessing, okay? I could very well be wrong, but the measure move would be about 0.94 cents area, okay? There is no really other previous trading history here I can refer back to for key support. So, the even numbers are probably the best guesses I can give you. Now, this is basically it for these altcoin setups. Very important to be paying attention to them right now. Let's see if they will break out or continue breaking down as we're seeing here. If they do, we can come back here and take another look. So if you guys do want to see any one of these 3 coins here, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll bring you guys an update if enough of you guys want to see it. I currently am leverage trading. I am seeing this market as overall bullish. So I am leverage trading mainly longs, okay? I am going to short if Bitcoin does look like it's even going to have a short-term pullback, okay? And since Bitcoin is in a very tight range here, I think it's very appropriate, at least in my financial situation, that I, short-term trade these with leverage, okay? I've held spot longs earlier in the year, and I basically have recently liquidated them and focused on leverage trading because I've had more consistent results over the past few weeks. If Bitcoin is actually able to break out of its 32K area resistance right now, I might change plans and hold spot longs again, or I might continue leverage trading, mainly longs, okay? Just depending on, how hands-on I want to be on the markets. So that's basically what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? Are you guys holding, trading? What symbols, what coins are you guys holding or trading? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys on the next post.